Welcome to Spiritual Truths with your host, Kerry Marie. Today I have the honour to be interviewing David Shisa from the UK. David is an experienced UK medium. He also does readings, teaching, he tutors others, and he has a lot of knowledge and enjoys empowering other mediums in his work. Thank you so much for being part of the Spiritual Truths family. To help this podcast, please can you like and subscribe. Blessings and love, Kerry Marie. Hi there. A quick reminder before we get into the podcast about my up and coming tour 2026, Bridging the Two Worlds. To purchase your tickets, go to Event Finder. And because you're one of my listeners, I'll give you a 5% discount. So please put in the code BLESSINGS, which is all in capitals. I look forward to seeing you there. Remember to head to the link below to purchase a ticket and the discount code. Blessings and love, Kerry Marie. Hi, David. It's so good to connect with you again.
Hi, Kerry Marie. Beautiful to be with you and connected again. It's lovely.
It's awesome. So I think the last time I saw you, we've worked out it's about 2016.
About there, yes, long time ago.
A
When we
long
were
time ago.
21.
Yeah, I know. 20 when we were 21. I love that. I love you. So, David, do you like to be called David or Dave?
David is fine, yeah.
David is fine. Okay, so when I did meet you in 2016, we
Yes.
met at a training course in England in Stafford, and we were both doing our teachers training at that time through the SNU. And
Correct.
yeah, and that's how we sort of connected and we met, and you were so enthusiastic and you put so much into it. And I was so inspired by you, to be honest. You're really passionate about mediumship. You wanted to do things just right. You wanted to dot your I's, cross your T's, do everything perfectly. And I've also seen you demonstrate as a medium, and you're so passionate and so good at what you do. It's so enjoyable. So I would, because I've witnessed you and seen you, I just like
Okay.
to ask you, what brought you into mediumship? How did it all start? What's your journey? Like, what brought you into it, your journey, all that sort of thing? I'd love to hear from you about that.
Well, let's call it faith or destiny. I don't really know what really brought me into it. It just appeared, to be honest. But first of all, thank you so much how you remember me. It's really awesome. And I also want to thank you that you acknowledge how much work I have put in. For those who are listening or watching this now, I don't class myself as a natural medium. Okay, what I mean with that is a natural medium in my definition is someone, I'm born into this world. I always knew there was spirit people. I saw them, I played with them. I never had that, or I can't remember that I ever had that. So for me, it's more like a progressive development that somehow moved me through circumstances of life into the mediumistic element of life. So I came to that point where I had to change my life because my life, in my opinion, or how I lived it, wasn't livable, or it was just not nice. But before I found the mediumistic, I endeavored an education or went on to an education scheme to become a kinesiologist. But in all fairness, that was self-development. 3 years looking into the mirror and then just it's working on stuff that is just patterns and behavioral things and so on. But somehow within that time, something opened up within myself, and then I met the right people at the right time, and then I ended up at the Arthur Findlay College, England, Stansted. I wasn't a medium when I entered the building, and I wasn't a medium for a long time, but what was so incredible was the atmosphere and the moment and the time that I had there. I felt like this is my home. And I
Wow.
think, yeah, when you come into a moment and your heart sings somehow, where you find all of a sudden a bit of a peace. So something, when I came into this environment with the mediumistic, or when I touched upon the mediumistic, something touched my soul. So it
Oh,
never let me go. However, for the next 10 years, I always came back to the Art of Indy College for 1 week only. 1 week. Because I love to be there. I didn't aspire to be a medium. I didn't I never wanted to become a demonstrating medium or a private sitting medium. The healing was fine for me. I started with trance. I just loved the moment to sit in there. So I believe the more I was within that environment, the more my soul power started to grow, and the more my soul power opened itself up to the spirit perception.
amazing.
So that's why I say I'm not really a person who knew about the world of spirit. I learned about the world of spirit, and therefore my energy started to grow to be perceptive of that energy, that conscious mind.
Yeah.
And then, of course, somehow, destiny, if we want to call it, I found love. The love sat in the UK. And as you know, I'm originally from Switzerland. That's why I have an accent. Well, we fell in love. The decision came to move to the UK because it was, well, it was just easier. And there I decided to focus entirely upon the path of a medium. And this is where I signed up to that education scheme. And then it led me where we met
Yes.
in Stafford. Yeah. So it's quite crazy, isn't it?
Wow, it's really crazy, actually. I kept on picking up a spirit around you when you were talking, but I'll talk to you about
Lovely.
that end. When you were talking beginning, I thought, oh, this male presence around you was really strong. But I'll come back to that, okay?
Very nice.
Right, yes. So what is it that you love most about mediumship? Like you just love, is it the energy, the feeling? What is it that you love about it the most?
The one element that I love the most is that mediumship, even though it's often used as a means for communication, has actually a transformational element within it. Every time a communication takes place, be it through the trance state, be it through healing, be it through the one-to-one session, or even demonstrating session, a moment is being opened that the atmosphere is going to change. What you just said, I was aware, or I'm aware of someone
Yes,
being with you, because
yes,
it's not because it's with me, it's within the atmosphere that all of a sudden starts to open up, and then the spirit world can touch the soul. And the most important element of mediumship, and I say mediumship was a pathway for me to heal,
mm,
but through the being and not through the doing, which is really interesting. So mediumship helped me to become the person that I am today, and to enjoy life the way I enjoy life today. That's the most important thing
I agree
in
with the
me.
healing. I love the, and also the being, not the doing.
It's,
Yeah,
it's just when you move into that moment where two, there is a nice expression that Mavis Patillas, when two worlds become one,
yeah,
and you are just immersed within it as the medium, that there is no more beautiful place than that. I think it's beautiful.
yeah. It's extraordinary. It's like magical, and you can't actually articulate it in words. So you have to actually experience it.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. And then I think sometimes people that have a reading from you, whether it be a demonstration or private sitting or even workshops and things like that, I think that it's, I get the word healing. It's so healing, but, and some people pick up on that energy, that transformational energy that you talked
Mm.
about. The two worlds become, some don't, some do. But the sitter can also experience that, don't you think? Not just a medium. It's
Ab-
open to it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But they're
When
part of
they
it.
sit, yes, I mean, you must have had that when they sit in front of you and they say, "Do you know what? You just said a word that my mom used to say, or you made this movement with your hand or through your hair, and my daughter used to do this." And they say, and I could, in that moment, I could just feel the presence of my loved one.
Hmm. It's so
I'm,
interesting. You touched on something. I did one of my a gentleman comes to see me, like once a year or something, and he came to one of my shows, and I forgot completely his brother had come through. But he said to me when he's leaving, he just said this one thing, and he said that you had all his mannerisms. He said it wasn't just what I was saying. He says you were actually presenting yourself with his mannerisms.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because for me, mediumship is more than just words and communications or evidence. It
Yes.
is, if the medium is really allowing that morphing to take place, where it just allows the spirit world to have a moment,
Mm.
then they almost materialize through the medium and its expression into the reality of the here. It's fantastic.
It's magic, isn't it, really? It's magic.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. Also,
Absolutely.
this is something else that I found really interesting. You mentioned that one word specific. So sometimes I find when it could be just something that is like peace or love, or it could be just a name or just one word, and you just hear it, or you're just aware of this word, and you just
Absolutely.
give it, and they go, and you see the person go, oh, like this.
Often it is very astounding. Often we as the medium, we are looking for this absolutely incredible evidence, this
Yeah.
this family secret or bank account numbers or whatever. And then all of a sudden you say, do you know what? I see this lily,
Yeah.
this white lily. And I mean, who hasn't got lilies at their
Yeah.
funeral, you
Yeah.
know? And you dismiss it as the medium because it's just too general. And then all of a sudden, in front of you sits a recipient that bursts into tears and says, I've waited for this white lily 20 years, 20 years, because in the perception of the recipient, this was evidence.
It's huge. But actually, I used to do psychic parties, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, and I used to do psychic readings in the first half, and the second half I did mediumship. But I always find there was always a skeptics in the beginning, and whenever I went into mediumship, I didn't know who I was going to. I threw it out, and I always got a skeptic. And I remember this time, this one lady took it, and she was a skeptic, and I gave
Mm,
her evidence of a lily, and she just
right.
burst into tears.
Mm.
And there was something else I said that was quite a complicated word. I found her afterwards. She was a wrote maths books. That's how technical she was.
Oh, you see?
But it all started with the lily, and then more opened up.
See the lily.
Yeah, and I'm looking at them now on my cards. The lily, I can see them here. Interesting.
Okay, it's lovely.
So,
Yeah, I think it's really you say skeptical people. I think as a medium you have the task to prove that life after life is still a reality. We haven't really we're not quite there yet. It's not accepted by everyone. So in a way, I'm really happy that we have those willing to take skeptical people that are there because they want to know that this is real, this is correct, this is
Mm.
existing.
Mm.
However, also because it is a very vulnerable moment, isn't it, when two people meet? And I think they do deserve that moment where someone is being convinced that what I give them as a medium is as much as we can is evidence for them to validate. Do you know what? The medium couldn't have known that. It's not possible. You know?
Exactly. It's really interesting what I found with these psychic parties because in the beginning, because I'm doing more psychic messages, so sort of people could close you down a bit more. But the second half, I didn't know who I was going to. And I didn't know
Yes.
they were a skeptic. I had no idea. And every time the spirit world picked a skeptic,
Mm.
every time.
Well, I'm not really astonished because it's that one moment this person is there.
Yes.
Because normally these skeptics were they were pushed by people to say, come now, come and have this experience. And I don't really want to be there. It's like the husband being dragged to a psychic evening or mediumistic evening and says, do you know what, I'd rather be at home watching football or something like that.
It's,
And then they stand there, and what happens, because the spirit world has the opportunity to now address them, because otherwise they will never have this opportunity. Well, there we go.
yeah. I just found it an interesting phenomena, to be honest. So,
Absolutely.
please, it's also just going to ask you, because as mediums, that we have some really memorable experiences. So, David, do you have any memorable experiences that you can share with us?
um do you mean where it was absolutely fantastic, or when I
Yeah,
went down with the Titanic and just tried to keep myself together?
I thought the thing that I thought the thing that blew you away, I'd say, like absolutely fabulous.
Okay, so a blew away moment.
Way
Uh,
moment.
I must say I had many such moments in different subjects of mediumship. For example, I had one that blew me away when a lady, when I started with going to the college, Eileen Mitchinson. She was a very tiny little lady, very frail, quite in a advanced age as well. And then when she went into a trance state, I tell you, she just blew you. What was created there, it just blew your mind. It's like it was a different voice, it was a different personality, it was a different presence. She was strong, and I always remember that one. I always remember that one,
How
for
it stood out. It
example.
really stood out to you.
Absolutely. That was an extra, really, I mean, that was in 2002, Kerry Marie. And I
Mm.
still remember that moment as it was back then, because it just, those are moments of that only happens one. The other thing that blew my mind, I had to digest it a little bit. And this was when I was in the capacity of a demonstrating medium. And I was creating that contact to because I didn't go directly, I just opened it up.
Yeah.
And I said that I have this young man here. I brought the evidence and nobody could take it.
It was
And I was like, you know how that is. It's like you
oh yeah.
stand there. I know, and I know. I felt him. I had the conscious mind with me. I knew that it was right. And then one of the recipients, or the ladies in the congregation, she then said, I'm really sorry, I can understand this person, but this person is still alive.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So I said because mediums are not perfect. Okay. So I said, oh, I'm really sorry that I put him into the spirit world. I didn't want to kill him off. So I apologized for
Yeah.
it. And then her grandmother came through and had a communication with her.
Mm.
Well, That moment passed by. We went and had dinner. The lady went back home. And because the lady was a good friend of the organizer, she called her. What was it? I was long in bed. It must have been 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, where she then called my course organizer and she said, "You can't believe. I just found out on the internet, on Facebook, that he passed 2 weeks ago."
Oh my God.
And because they were dating,
Oh.
and she never heard a word from him, she thought that he dismissed her. And because they were freshly dating with each other, she didn't have connection to the family, she didn't have anything. And so, of course, her heart broke because now she knew why he never got in touch or back in touch with her, because he passed in an accident.
Wow.
I mean, for me, it was the first time that, because as I said to you before I brought the story, I said it was so real to me. I could have sworn this person is in the spirit, but mediums sometimes are wrong. Okay, sometimes we are wrong. We have to acknowledge that. But that was quite a tough cookie for
Yeah.
me to actually have had this experience of someone who is believed to be alive
Yeah.
standing beside me. Yes, and me being then insecure, am I correct in what I am aware of or not? And unfortunately, I would have wished, honestly, Carrie Marie, I would have wished as a medium I was wrong.
I
I would
know.
have wished it. I would have prayed it. I would have been so okay with it that this lady didn't have to go through the pain that she went through that night.
Same
But
time, got answers, didn't she?
mm,
She got some answers.
well, yes, but not really the answers that she want. It's not
No.
what you expect. It is kind of something totally different.
Yeah, I have had a similar experience. Not with a young person,
Uh-huh.
but I was doing a reading for a couple and I picked up on her father saying very similar. And she just said, no, he's alive. And,
Yeah.
but he had been a little bit in dementia.
Okay.
So I just, once again, I thought, oh, I said, I'm sorry if I got this wrong. Maybe just picking up on his energy because he's in two worlds, maybe. I didn't want to make it fit. You don't want to make it fit. But you just have to be honest. And I said, this is the information I've got. But she rang me back and said he died in the reading, in the reading, while I was
It's
present.
incredible.
But it was like near the end of the reading. So he died about,
Yeah.
they worked at the time, it was like uh, 15 minutes before I picked up on him.
Wow. See, it's incredible. But maybe that helps your listeners as well, because
Yeah.
it's great that you bring that dementia subject into. Because in my experience, and I worked a lot now, the people with dementia often are in two worlds.
They are.
And sometimes they feel very much within the world of spirit. I had that several times, so I can say out of experience, most of the time, if someone felt like in the spirit world they had dementia and were still here,
Yeah.
and that might help your listeners as well to say, do you know what? Even though I ask myself, do they recognize or are they isolated in nothing? I think this is a very beautiful comfort that people can get from that, to know that people with dementia, even though they might not be receptive, they might not be engaging, are not left on their own, but have already somehow some kind of a life in the world of spirit.
Yeah. It's
Mm,
interesting,
that's
isn't it?
very nice.
Oh, interesting. Going
Mm,
back to the subject about someone's alive, they're not past. I had a similar
mm,
experience where there's a gentleman at work that had passed, and his wife was in the audience. And I brought through the specific information, I'll say. I got an image and a name and everything, and I said the name that I talked to. I saw that he was a chef and he was into classical music, that he had a fiance, and that is an accident on a motorbike. And it was the information I brought through, and it was so embarrassing. This is in the early days, and
Right.
nobody took it. And I've never done that before. Like, I've just had to keep going. It was awful. It was embarrassing, as you can imagine, because I'm a human being.
Well, yes.
Yes. And then after the demonstration, the gentleman at work's wife came up to me and says, I know everything you're saying, the name, the classical music, the chef, the motivated fiance. He said, he's alive. But and then I clicked, is that what it was? It was her husband giving me information to get to her. Because I remember at the time, I don't think I had the presence of it. I just kept on having this information coming through. Like,
Right.
I was given a name, and yeah, so that was also quite confusing as a medium. That it was him. He's a person that didn't talk about himself.
Right.
So he was very quiet. So he was giving me information
Ah,
about somebody else, and that really tripped me up. So
okay.
that's why sometimes you can say, can anybody take this information?
Absolutely.
That's a way as a channel in. So that's also, it can be confusing at times.
Well, it can, and I mean, Karen, you said that, in the beginning. I mean, mediumship is constantly growing.
Yes.
You must experience that.
Oh, I do. I
I
do.
mean, all of a sudden things don't work the way you are used how they work, or so a new aspect is coming in, and
Yeah.
as soon as this is happening, it confuses a little bit. You have to find your own way again,
Yeah.
because it doesn't really work the way you are used to. For example, I now, with my experience, for example, when I often have this information that the information is about the living, for example, I
Mm,
now just listen and ask who from the world of spirit is talking about this person.
interesting.
And then often someone from the world of spirit starts to step forward, because often then it is someone who is very much related, loves the person very much. And then when you bring it into context, you can say, can you understand that there are a bit of difficulties with this person, that there is a bit of
Yeah.
thoughts needed to go? And then they say, absolutely. So
Yeah.
you can see how the spirit world, and is a beautiful proof, by the way,
Mm.
is how they are still concerned with the well-being of their loved ones here on the earth plane. It's beautiful.
It really is. And
It,
I think that is that's true because one of my sitters that I comes, her husband passed, and she's a regular, and he
right.
didn't put himself, but he mainly talks about what's going on in her life. And he showed the house she's going to buy, and he knows that she's been out in the roses. He knew that she saw a hedgehog. He knew that she'd just bought these new tea towels. He knew that she'd just been buying raspberries. Honestly, he knows the shower needs fixing. He knows she's just bought a new car. It's unbelievable.
Beautiful. But then it's a reflection of himself, I believe, because he never used to talk about himself.
Yes.
So who is he talking about? The one that is most precious for him, his
Oh,
wife.
it's so
You know,
beautiful, isn't it? It's so
it is
beautiful.
love, isn't it? It's
It's
like love goes beyond death, and that's the proof.
yeah. I just heard connection as well when you said that.
It's fantastic. I think, you see, all of a sudden we go beyond evidence. What exactly is evidence? Yes, of course, we have to have points of validation, but when we share those stories, I mean, it's great to share it with you and to listen to your stories, and that experience. It's just a testament of love,
Mm.
And that's what the world of spirit is. When they come through, it's a testament of love.
It's so very special. And that leads me to my next question is that do you see mediumship? Of course you do, but well obviously it's healing, but why do you see it as healing?
You know what? I always, excuse me, I have a bit of a cough lately. Why do I, it's, why do I see mediumship as healing? And I often thought about that. It's like, what is the purpose of this reunion, for
Mm.
example? So what I want to open up here is like, you don't have to be a healing medium to do healing. Any form of medium is in its core, or medium, any form of mediumship in its core is healing.
Mm.
Why do you think that need is there from the world of spirit to connect with loved ones? Is it just to say, hello, I'm David, I'm 1 meter 80, I have brown hairs, I have these characteristics? Do you think
But
do you think that's the purpose of mediumship? No, I don't think so. I think it is part to bring the message to say, hey, by the way, I'm very astonished myself. However, my consciousness still is intact. I still
mm,
have all my memories. I
mm,
still am aware of what you're doing, who you are at this moment,
mm,
even if it's about an apology, what I have done to you. But it is showing that this togetherness, if it's bereavement, if it's clarifying of unresolved issues, that moment, be it a private reading, be it a demonstration, be it a healing session, a trance session, trance philosophy, whatever exists in this world, every time when they come, they bring something that eases the pain of the human they address. Every
always,
time.
always without a fault.
And even though you're normally not quite aware of what the extent is of this togetherness, or that touch that happens, somehow all of a sudden people start really to ease and to find
Yeah,
peace.
they do. Have you ever seen them? I've seen people do this. I get a little bit calm, but they come in like
Mm.
this.
Oh yeah.
Then they come in like protecting themselves and then they suddenly sort of then they put their arms down
Mm.
and cross their legs and then they sort of sit back and they relax. You sort of watch them unfold in front of you.
Yes. It might not happen with the first one or the second one or the third one, but continuously, all of a sudden, people start to change.
Yeah, very subtly,
And,
isn't it? Yeah.
and this is why, I mean, the healing lies within that moment when people, and this is a difficult one, and I know you know that, because people often come with, I want,
I know.
but they get what they need.
Mm.
And sometimes the want and the need is not really the same. However, because the spirit world always answers to the need of the moment, and it has, as I said, it has a transformational element within it. And sooner or later, people who are being touched by it, they will sooner or later move and change.
Exactly. I think, don't you think they can come back to life though? So
Well,
you might say go to a dentist and you go
mm,
to the dentist and you say, like, I want to fix my teeth. I want really good teeth. And so you just want to go in there and you're just going to think they're going to come and fix your teeth. And then you go to someone and say, oh, first of all, you've got to get your teeth, I don't know, make crowns or filled or built up. And then you have to go to an orthodontist and you have to get your teeth straightened. And that's going to take a while. And then you need to get some more caps or restoration on your teeth or I don't know. And then you need to get them whitened, whatever. It's like you might just go on with this idea, or you may want to sell your house. You think, I just want to sell my house, but you've got to do all these things, steps beforehand. So you might go
Mm.
with advice. But so I'm just using as examples. So not
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
in life in general, you might have what you want, but it's not where you need at that time to get to where you need to be.
Well, I mean, interesting examples here. Very nice with the teeth because they are very important. However, when we look at the mediumistic element, often, I mean, you know that better than I. Often people find you because they have lost someone, and sometimes I find mediumship can be also a bit. How can I put that people don't misunderstand me? And I will explain what I mean. There is a bit of a danger with mediumship as well, or that session, because there is no shortcut for bereavement. There is no shortcut to get through grief. And sometimes people then, when a medium is capable to make this connection, they are so happy that the person is still so alive. However, that moment is created because there is a medium there. And then they go back home. They carry that moment of, I can feel them. They are around me. They know what is happening. But then all of a sudden they come back into their home, for example. And then all of a sudden they feel lonely again. They recognize that the physical presence is not there. So the easiest thing is to say, I need my fix of that feeling that I just had. And I call Carrie Marie again. Can I please come next week again? Because I need it. And and sometimes, I mean, to have that proof that loved ones are there, I think it's wonderful. Sometimes it's really hard when you have this communication and then it withdraws again from you,
Mm.
because you need to learn how to carry your loved ones in your heart, don't you?
Mm.
I mean, in the end, they live within us, not within the media. Okay. So therefore, sometimes, as you said with those examples, it needs time, it needs the reflection, it needs that moment of loneliness, it needs that moment of I miss you, because the knowledge of life after life is not enough, it's not good enough. It is great, but just to hold someone one more time in your arms, to have this one phone call with their physical voice, it's just not there anymore. And people, they have to go through that moment where, and it is tough. It is really tough when that moment comes where something within you dies because you lose someone. Not everybody has that, to be honest, or had that yet. So they're very lucky ones. But then to find that through the spirit communication, to find that reassurance and the drive to say, do you know what, despite me missing you every day, I still am going to enjoy life till the moment we meet again.
Yeah,
Every single day.
yeah.
That's a process. It is really that process you were talking about.
It's interesting because my next question was about grief, but you've answered it already, so we're quite.
Oh, okay, look.
Because I feel that as a medium, sometimes I really thought that I thought my job was to fix grief, and then I learned that no, you can't replace the physical presence of somebody else. And it
Mm,
is their journey, and it's a sad journey, and it's not an easy one, and only they can do it. And it is a process
absolutely.
that words can't fix. It's one of those things. I remember a spirit said something to me recently.
Okay.
And I found that it was quite, because sometimes they can almost be a little bit blunt with what they say, but it's her personality. But I knew because it was coming from the mum that it was okay to pass it on. But it sort of was good for me to hear it as well. And she came through and she said to her daughter, we all have to die one day. And it was such a statement, but it was like, you know, you're right. We all have to die one day. And I know people say there's no much, it's everything's sure as taxes and death. We don't like talking about it, but it's the way she said it and how she said it was so powerful.
Yeah,
And
because it's a
it
matter
really
of,
spoke to her and it spoke to me as well. And it's who she was.
I think I mean, we as a medium, we have a lot of privileges
Mm.
because being the connection to the world of spirit also means we are being part of people's lives and relationships.
Yeah. Yeah.
So many times I come into a situation where I feel privileged to have been allowed to be part of a very intimate moment where two people meet, where things are being said that are personal. You can feel the love that they have for each other. And because you are the medium as a conductor, transporter of that whole communication, I think you are, I mean, you know you are part of it as well.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. It's
Well,
beautiful.
yes.
It's absolutely beautiful. So then also, I was going to say that would you sometimes for me that I will always say to people, I also refer people. So I think you may need to see the doctor or the GP. You may need to get some financial help, maybe see a lawyer, or maybe you need counselling. Because sometimes I've heard spirits say it to me is that they suggest. I always say, "Oh, your grandmother's suggesting." You know, I never say you've got to do this, but I say so because
Mm.
spirit always says to me only a suggestion. So I sometimes will suggest if it comes from spirit, not from my brain, from them, and if they're open to it, I'll just gently say that they just mention counselling to you. Usually, when you say that, they've actually
Mm.
thought of it. And I really believe in counselling and personal development. You're talking about a kinesiology before. But sometimes,
Mhm.
do you think there's something about going to see a medium that no one else can fulfill?
How can I say it's a very delicate question here. Is also a delicate question in relation to the law of the land as well.
Right,
So, for example, I live in the UK. The UK is very, very so it's a bit delicate what I am allowed to suggest and what not. Okay. I am very much agreeing here with you that sometimes the spirit people have an opinion.
right,
And I like that. And you said that your grandmother is suggesting. That's only an opinion. And I always remember that sentence that someone said once to me. If you haven't listened to your grandmother when she was alive, why on earth would you want to listen when she's in spirit? Okay. Because often what I experience and sometimes it stresses me out is that people want to use me as an oracle.
right. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
So they're not just coming because they want to have a communication with someone they miss. They want to have a communication with the world of spirit because they are in dire strait with life, or they want to have an
yeah,
answer. They want to know what mom would say, because if mom was a very great supporter within life and advisor, then they come and say, I want to I want to speak to mom. I need to have her opinion. It becomes very difficult when people then say all of a sudden, because they don't hear that you say it's a suggestion, it's an opinion. They say, oh, the medium told me, my mom said I need
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
divorce my husband.
I never say that. Yeah, I'm very cautious. I get the word cautious, but I do hear the word suggestion. So to me, suggestion is it's just you don't have to. It's up to you. It's your decision. That's the most important thing that people, it's their decision. But what I was meaning more, how
Mhm.
can, as a therapist, because we like a therapist, so sometimes how can like going to see a medium for someone be um is a really good experience for them. Like sometimes it's people can go and see a counselor, say the grief counselor, but how do you feel like a medium can support them in a different way that a counselor can or somebody else? How can we support them?
Well, I think there are two elements. So the first one you said, yes, sometimes people need professional help. That's it. They're not in the right space to have a mediumistic communication, nor should the spirit world tell them what to do. It's
Right.
their own life. Okay. Of course, we have a lot of therapists. Of course, we have a lot of people who are medical professionals that come and want to learn, for example, spirit healing. I have a lot of medical professionals, even psychotherapists, psychologists.
Yeah.
They are interested in that element in that can help and support a healing process.
Mm.
So I absolutely in line with you. We can support processes of well-being,
Yeah.
and that can happen complementary. What I just wanted to say previously is like is sometimes a bit difficult when people come with certain needs to hear certain
Yeah.
information, because sometimes people only want to hear certain information, and you
Yeah.
can put it the way you want it. You can tell them it's only an opinion. They only hear what they want to hear.
I do,
So
don't they?
sometimes
You got to
there's
be
a bit
very
of a
careful. It is a delicate subject. So, how do you work, David? How do you work as a medium? As someone, so I want to have a reading with David. What can I expect? How do you work?
what I offered, for example. Is that your
What
question?
I mean, yeah. What do you offer? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm mainly a teacher. I love the teaching element. Okay. I love teaching the trance. I love teaching the healing. I love teaching the what we call the evidential mediumship side. I love to be a demonstrator. Of course, I do private readings. I do private healing sittings as well. And yes, well, I just kind of do it all.
You do it all. So you mainly just do mediumship. You don't do like psychic readings. You just do meet a connection, like evidential media connections that mainly work in the spirit, or because some people come along that just want like, because psychic reading more than a mediumship reading, it's been like guidance rather than mediumship. So
Well, I do either. I just go with the flow of my customers'
right,
need.
right, okay,
And so therefore, yes, I mean spiritual assessment. Sometimes they want to more hear about their lives, but of course, then it's a completely different level of attunement where we look more into the color of life, where they are to find themselves a little bit as a support and guidance. Yes, I just whatever you need, I'll do my best, and we'll see. Either it works or it doesn't. And well, yeah.
yeah, because that's the sort of thing, isn't it? So sometimes that leads me to my next questions because sometimes I might work better with one customer, but maybe sometimes I don't, and I work better with you. So what I was going to say, so how do people go about choosing a medium?
Um, I guess. Excuse me. I guess it's most people. I feel they make a gut decision. I think you just are drawn to someone, or you have heard through word to mouth. I hope that this is correct. This is
Word
word
of
to
mouth,
mouth,
word of mouth.
word of mouth, exactly. Where they have someone that had a good experience. Some people they just find me because they Google and somehow I come up. Um, I think the most important thing is that you think or feel that you might be feeling comfortable with someone. I
Mm.
think that's a very important element. It's difficult. How do I choose my people that I want to have a reading for from? I think I go with those that I like somehow, that
Right.
I feel comfortable with. I think comfort is a very, very essential element to then create a good reading. If people feel
Yeah.
comfortable.
I agree because it's like any sort of meeting in life, isn't it?
How do you choose your medium?
For
How do
me,
you do that?
I don't actually get a lot of readings. I've got a I've got a friend who does tarot card reading. She's such an amazing tarot card reader.
Wow,
She's incredible.
that's
Um,
great.
she's just really that's her forte is tarot. And I love to get a good mediumship reading, but I don't get more. I give more readings than I actually get them myself, and I've had some amazing readings in the UK actually.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah,
Very
so the
nice.
quality of mediumship in the UK is out of this world. That's how I personally found it.
Okay,
So
okay.
I don't tend to go to mediumship readings myself.
Well, I can't really remember when I had one.
Yeah,
Mostly, mostly it happens with students that work with the spirit world, and then all of a sudden, from now to then, someone comes through and says hi, which is nice.
yeah. Sometimes I've got some friends that are into all this, and they may pick up a few things
Yeah.
for me, which is really nice and it's uplifting. I was in the beginning, I was probably in a lot of grief and all that sort of thing. It was a stage that I went through and I sorted out a lot, but I'm just happy to be working with it and to be part of it, to let it unfold. In fact, if I go to a show and the spirit's for me, I can get embarrassed because I
Mm.
feel like I want somebody else to have it, not me. But
Well,
such a great medium, a great
yes,
medium.
absolutely. I mean, personally, I'm not really, or for a long time, I didn't look to get a reading. But then one thing happened to a good friend of mine who died very, very suddenly. And how the person died was a bit questionable. And that's now a personal story here, which I'll gladly share a little bit. And you see, I got that phone call of that friend, but I wasn't in the mood to speak. So I ignored the phone call and thought, I will call back when I feel a bit better. And then I forgot about it, and then I was cleaning the bathroom. It's pretty interesting. I was cleaning the bathroom a few couple of days later, and then I thought to myself, "Oh, I need to call my friend." And then all of a sudden, this phone call came informing me that my friend passed away. So something within me has that need, because I felt a bit, no, not a bit. I really felt guilty. However, it's not my responsibility, isn't it?
Mm,
It's not. I made a choice, and this choice is absolutely okay. But something within me was like thinking and feeling guilty. What if I took the phone? What if? And so sometimes when I'm in the situation where maybe a communication could take place, I would wish to hear from her,
mm.
you know? So I can, but I'm also very clear where this wish is coming from. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean
yeah,
here? So of course I have question. I would like to have clarification, and it would be nice to have an absolution to say, David, no problem.
yeah.
I have no issue with you not taking my phone call. Please, please be free of that.
Have you heard that? Have you heard that ever?
Not so far. In fact, there's everybody who is listening to this talk now is not allowed to pick it up either, because I have given it away. So they
Uh,
know now what I would like to hear. So it would need to come from a place of absolute integrity, of absolute unknowing, that I
yeah.
could take it. But
Unexpected. In fact, it can be a little bit insulting when somebody does that to you. I've experienced it as a medium. I
mm,
remember that's when my brother died, and somebody knew my brother died, and they said, "Oh, your brother's here with you." It was the day of his funeral, and started giving me a reading, and I found it offensive. because it didn't
It
feel
is.
integral. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. And I don't think they ask for permission to do that with you.
No, they'd
I
like
think
to
they
get
just
into it. Yeah.
started.
Yeah, exactly. Did you mind, actually, I'm going to ask your permission. Do you mind if I read you one of my spirit messages from Spirit?
Yes.
Andre, do you
Yeah.
mind listening to me? That is here. Okay, what I am going to ask you, um, I had a different spirit that came through early, that I felt around you. I felt a male energy. I didn't feel a female at all.
Right.
And
That's okay.
when you were talking about growing up and you're talking
Mhm.
about involvement, and I just felt this really strong energy of a father energy. I just felt it so strong with you, like standing, really standing on your left-hand side, actually, as you were talking earlier. And I feel that this person has had an influence on your spiritual development, is when I say that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what I've got from this person, I'm not doing a reading, I'm just picked him up. Right. So I'm just number 23, which adds up to a number 23. So I don't know if number 23 means a lot to you, but it's all about 5, about being your own person, being social, finding your
Excuse me.
balance. I love numerology, by the way. I'm open to all sorts, to be honest.
Great.
I'm open to numerology, astrology, tarot, mediumship. I think it's good to be open. That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
So this person's come through and said, you want to feel love, either on earth or from above. At times you feel coy. It's time to laugh, to feel joy. Life is for living, being with others, sharing and giving. I'm always honest, and this person felt very honest. And what I want to say is, I want the best for you. I keep my promise. So they're coming through and they're giving you support. I don't need to do a reading, but he was a gentleman. And I'm just going to share that with you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
With a really good sense of humor. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
The card, absolutely. I mean, it reflects where I am. So very nice card.
Right. And we can
Yeah.
talk later um about that, if you like, after the podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Because what I find is it's really difficult for me as a medium, because when people start to talk and a podcast and a spirit appears, and I feel the presence of spirit around them, and I have to hold back because it's a podcast from interrupting the flow of them talking.
Right. Right.
But I
But
turn
how
up
can
for
I
a reason.
say? I mean, we're talking about spirit,
Yeah.
and because we're talking about spirit, we're opening our minds to spirit.
Yes.
And I believe sometimes also when people listen to the podcast, because they're listening to what we speak about the spirit people, and I hope that some of the listeners will have that moment where they feel their own people coming close, or
Yes.
maybe they find themselves within that daydream mode where they all of a sudden think of old memories,
Yeah.
and taking that as an indication of, oh, why is that memory coming now? Well, because maybe the spirit people, through bringing their focus upon that one subject, into that one moment, the spirit people are able to draw close. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody will take a different thing from it.
I hope.
Yeah. And even people developing as mediums
It's
themselves, they
great.
can actually hear about your journey. Everybody's journey is different.
It's true.
Yeah. I'm hearing the word, you are a jewel. You are a jewel. But what's really interesting with you, David, is that you, like you said, I wasn't a natural medium. We're really honest about that. You
Mm,
came about it through a different way, a different channel.
absolutely. But it also shows that I believe that there must be something within you somehow. But you can also work on your mediumship. It's not just a given fact. It is something that we can work on. And I believe also natural mediums can work on their mediumship to achieve greater heights. I think there is more potential ready to be unlocked.
You're reading my mind because that's where I was leading to. I was leading to what would you, I would say, what would you suggest for developing mediums? You read your mind. At the same time, I was going to say, because the spiritual podcast is called Spiritual Truth, that's what it's called. So can I just ask you, David, what is your spiritual truth?
It is a big question. My spiritual truth is that if we accept that the universe is indefinite, is infinite, is has no boundaries, then we know the spirit world has no boundaries, no limitations. And therefore, I say the spirit truth is absolutely correct. We people are never finished unlocking a potential. There is always more that we can unlock if we choose to do so. So that helps me as a medium who has achieved a certain standard to know I'm not there yet. I am not there yet. There is much more that we can move forward to hopefully discover and become even better than we are. I think that's a nice spiritual truth.
It's like an evolution, isn't it?
It is. It is. I believe if we are settling with that moment, oh, I am good, then that journey is finished. That journey is finished.
I just heard and the wonders. Evolution and the wonders.
I mean, we know each other for a long time now already. The pathway of the medium is quite a part of my life now. I mean, it's a few decades now. And one thing I can say is this journey has never been boring or dull. Honestly, I'm a person who's very, very easily bored in life. With most of my jobs, I don't say that I was good at what I did, but I was very easily bored. But not with this one.
Never. It's who you are. It's actually a part of you. It's part of you and it's who you are.
Absolutely.
And anything is possible. Yeah. So you've got a lot to offer people. So how do people get hold of you, David?
The best thing is through my website. Write me an email. I will answer. It will take time to.
So what is the website?
Is www.blendingmind.com. That's my.
And
where
how
I
do
am.
they can email you from your website, can they?
Yes, absolutely. And then when I have time, I will answer every single one.
When you have time, because you do have, I noticed you had a response to me when I sent you an email. You said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't get to you now, but I will. You did say that to me. And so before we finish, so have you got any plans for the future? Were you things you're planning to do?
Well, I have many ideas that I have creating more courses, improving my mediumship, moving on with my trance work. That would be great. I have many projects at the moment. Yes.
Really
So we'll
good.
see.
So people get hold of you for Zoom. And do you teach people, like say people from New Zealand,
Yes.
on way to the UK, so they want to have a reading with you or they want to have some tutoring with you, can they do that?
Absolutely. I'm open to anything that I will. If you have an idea, if you need help, one part that I'm investigating offering is now a bit supervision. Say, for
Right.
example, if you're a medium, working medium, or someone who starts out, and you have a problem with your mediumship, that we can find ways together. Where is a problem? I like that a bit, finding new ways how to tackle it. Whatever you need. I mean, there are courses that we can organize with New Zealand. There is just a time difference a bit different that we
Yeah.
have to be.
Around.
Yes, absolutely. But we'll find ways to do something. So if there is an interest, get in touch with me, and we always find a possibility
A
how
solution.
to
All right.
organize.
Well, thank you so much for your time, and we'll be in touch. And thank you. I really appreciate all your wisdom and your courage to come on the podcast and your stories.
Kerry, it's lovely to have this time together with each other. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always lovely. It's wonderful.
Blessings.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone.